Hello, my name is Agatha, and this is a past life reading. It's going to be 10 questions, and I'm going to ask you to pick A, B, or C. Okay? This is, a bit general. If you'd like something similar, you can email me to dunyazade@gmail.com, and I'd be delighted to work with you. And this is for all signs. Okay? It doesn't matter what sign you are. I'm going to use 10 decks. I'm going to show them the Lover's Path Tarot, Barbieri Tarot, Pictorial Key Tarot, Energy Oracle Cards, Tarot Illuminati, Tarot of the Cat People, the Gendrum Tarot, what else? Chrysalis Tarot, Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg, and finally the Nicolette Chicolet Tarot. I'm going to use a lot. So, let's start. The first question is, who was I in a past life? Who was I? Who were you in a past life? So pick A, B, or C. Okay? A, B, or C. A, B, or C. So if you pick A, the card that came out for you was the Princess of Pentacles. So maybe in the past life you were a princess. Ooh, maybe you were a young woman. Maybe you lived in China. Maybe you were a Chinese princess. Ooh, and you were someone. Maybe you lived on a farm or something like that, or in an agricultural based type of society, and you didn't belong to a poor family. If you were a young woman, you had money to support yourself. I'm thinking royal blood, in China, but in an Asian country also. You were, very cautious, business-minded kind of person. And you would do, I would say, things in a very slow, detailed type of way. I'm seeing the sun, and I'm thinking you came from, in a past life, you were from the land of the rising sun, which I think is Japan, but I'm not quite sure of that. So if you picked the option B, who were you in a past life? You have the Tower. You were a catalyst to change other people's lives. So you came in, and I'm thinking through it a very violent way. You changed societies, you changed other people's lives. Maybe you were in the army, maybe you were in the military. This card is connected with Mars. Maybe, you were a soldier, or more like a general, someone, higher up that caused upheaval and violence. And another way of reading this card is that if you look at the figures, they're like falling down, and one of them has a crown. I think this one. You were someone maybe higher up, and you lost everything. Maybe you were a king, and your kingdom got invaded. You were someone in a very elevated social position, and you lost everything due to, for instance, war or revolution or some other type of event. It could be that as well. Now, if you picked the card, the option C, who were you in a past life? You got the Five of Pentacles. You were a very poor person. Okay, you were very poor, and maybe you lived outside of society. You felt rejected by society. No one helped you. People could have helped you, like even like the how do you call them, religious people of this society who could have helped you didn't help you, or you felt that you could not go to them to ask for help. You were poor, you were old, you were hungry, you felt rejected. Another way of reading this card is maybe perhaps you were also someone who was very negative. You didn't seek help of anyone or any type of institution because you felt no one's going to help me. Why bother? There's no point. So maybe you had that type of thinking. Okay. Now moving on to the next part. The next question. The next question is: were you married? Were you married? So pick A, B, or C. If you picked A, were you married? The card that came out for you was the Emperor. I would say you might have been married, you might have been a woman, and you might have been married with a very domineering man. You had a stable marriage, a stable union, but the person whom you married was very domineering, very controlling. Maybe you were married to someone with a very high position in terms of authority, even in the military life, again, a general, something like that. But not necessarily within military, but he was a leader. He was a leader of some kind. Or maybe the person whom you married saw you as such, saw you as someone who gave him or her stability, more like her, because this is a masculine card, and you were the one who was domineering and controlling. Okay. Now, if you picked the option B, were you married? The card that came out was the Hanged Man, another major arcana card. Maybe you were married, but you had to wait for a very long time. Maybe there was not enough money for you to marry, or maybe the person whom you wanted to get married to didn't have enough money, and maybe in those times you needed to wait. So there's like a waiting period before marriage happened. Maybe I'm thinking 12 years or something like that. Others, it could be no, you were not. You sacrificed marriage because you wanted something else. This is a very spiritual card. Maybe you gave more importance to the spiritual side of life. Maybe you were a monk, maybe you were a nun, and that part was more important. Therefore, you could not get married. So it depends. Okay. If you picked the option C, were you married? The card that came out was the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, you were. And you were married in a very rich family. Or if you married, your family, the family that you've built with your husband or wife, became extremely rich, extremely healthy. You were married into a family also that had rich traditions, that was very conventional, that had maybe strict moral codes, but it was rich, it was stable. Also, because of this card, you see a young lady and she's fooling around, in a carousel. I'm thinking that you were married and you were happy that you had all this money because it gave you time to enjoy life with your spouse. So you were happy that you had money. Okay? So now let's move on to the next question. The next question, which was, were you happy? Were you happy? Were you happy? If you picked option A, were you happy? The card that came out was the Phoenix, the Judgment card. Maybe you judge yourself too much. Maybe you judge others too much. There's an element of judging here. And because of that, you were not truly happy. It's too much that judgment. Another way of reading this card is that there was a before and then there was an after. A major event happened in your life, and maybe before you were happy, and after that event you were no longer happy. But I'm thinking it's the other way around. Before that event, you were not happy. But after that event, that very big and major event in your life, which transformed completely your life, you became happy. You rose from the ashes of your old life, and that allowed for some happiness, for some contentment. Another way of reading this card, you were happy when you were transforming your life, completely renovating and changing your life. This is when you were the most happy. Now, if you picked the option B, were you happy? The card that came out was the Seven of Stones. You were happy when you were harvesting, meaning if you worked very hard and then you looked at the fruits of your labor, then you're happy. Oh my God, I worked so much, and look at all the money that I got, or look at everything that I've accomplished after I've worked so much. When you saw the fruits of your I'm sorry. When you saw the fruits of your labor, I'm sorry, then you were happy. Another way of reading this: you're not exactly happy. You were not in your past life, in your hypothetical past life. You were always thinking and reflecting and pondering about something. There was no time for you to think, to actually be happy and to feel it, because you're always thinking. You're always in your head. When you were, for instance, devoting yourself to art or to creative expression, for instance, when you were making music, then you were happy. But most of the time, you're just thinking about things and stuff and people. You didn't exactly enjoy yourself. You didn't allow your time to enjoy yourself, to enjoy your happiness, to enjoy the fruits of your labor, because you were too much in your head. Maybe you're a philosopher of some kind, you know. And then if you picked option C, were you happy? Option C, you have the Two of Mirrors, which is the Two of, I'm sorry, the Two of Cups. I'm sorry, the Two of Cups in traditional decks. You were happy when you were with your soulmate. Maybe you became happy when you found your romantic partner, when you got married, when you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and when you had a wife or a husband, or you were happy when you were in a relationship. And I would say, like in the beginning of the relationship, where everything is fine and great and fabulous, in the honeymoon period of time of the relationship, where you see the other person as perfect, you were happy then. Okay? So there's many different ways of reading the same cards. Now, let's move on to what type of work did you do? What type of work did you do? Option A, what type of work did you do? If you picked option A, so pick A, B, or C, you got the Eight of Wands. The work that you do was, it was necessary for you to multitask. You had to do many things at once. Many things at once. And whatever type of work you did, it had to be done fast. Very fast. And you have to be quick on your feet, quick on your mind, and you had to deal with a lot of stuff. Another way of reading this, you did a certain type of job, and then you got bored, or you couldn't continue, or you had no stability in terms of work, and you had to quickly find a new place of employment. So you maybe work in a place for a month, and then you had to go to another place another month, and something like that. If it's not that, it's something to do with airlines. Maybe you worked with planes, with airlines, something like that. Maybe you were a pilot. Maybe maybe you were an aviation guy. This is also connected with airwaves. So maybe you worked on a radio. Anything connected with airwaves. If you picked option B, what type of work did you do? You had the Knight of Pentacles. The type of work that you do, you were in a position of middle management. You were a leader, but not a very high up, just middle management. And you worked in a very detailed manner, in very slow manner, which is completely different from the card before, which is the Eight of Wands. This is quick. This is doing the job quick. This is the opposite. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles is doing the job slowly. You had to be careful. You had to be cautious. You had to mind the details, the tiny little details. You follow steps like first A, B, C, D, slowly. And maybe people didn't like that. Maybe you were very boring and annoying in your workplace. Maybe you did some sort of work. For instance, the whole old books, the old religious books that had beautiful, in Portuguese we say iluminuras, I don't know, the drawings, the tiny little drawings from the medieval times. You had to be very careful, and you had to do this type of work very slowly. Maybe it's that type of work, okay? If you picked the option C, what type of work did you do? You have the Justice card, which in this deck it's the number 8. It's a major arcana card. Maybe you did administrative work, or you worked in with justice or applying the law or in the court in some capacity. Maybe you were a judge, maybe you were a lawyer, maybe you were a prosecutor. Anything connected with courts, anything connected with law, doesn't matter what time we are referring to. Maybe it was this type of work you did, or maybe you were a mediator, you know. Maybe this party was at fight with that party. You were just a mediator. So many different ways of reading the same card. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question is what types of problems and challenges did you had? What types of problems and challenges did you have? So pick A, B, or C. A, B, or C. If you pick A, what type of problems and challenges you had in the past life? You got the world. Maybe you had too much success and you didn't know how to deal with that type of success. And this was a very big problem, a very big issue in your life. Just think Justin Bieber, okay? Sometimes the success is so great and so enormous that you don't know how to deal with it. Another way of reading this card was that you didn't know how to deal with the natural ending of cycles. So everything in our life is a cycle. You go to school, you end school, you get a job, you get retired, you have kids, the kids move out. It's a natural cycle, and you didn't know how to deal with these cycles, these natural cycles. You didn't know how to deal with the natural endings in one's life. Another way of reading this card, maybe you were an immigrant and you went to foreign places and people didn't accept you all that much. Or it's the other way around. You had problems with people who immigrated to your nation, to the place you lived, and you had problems with foreign people. Maybe barbarians were invading or something like that. So this is the type of issues and problems that you might have had. Now moving on to option B. Option B, what type of problems and challenges you had? You got the Justice card, which in this deck is the number 11. You had problems with the justice, with the law. Maybe you kept getting arrested. Maybe you kept getting in problems with the law. Maybe you were wrongfully accused of something, you know. Maybe you were in jail for a very long time. Maybe you died because someone accused you of doing something which you did not. Another way of reading this card is that you didn't have emotional harmony within yourself. That was your main issue. You were not within yourself. There was no harmony. Another way also of reading it, you had a very big problem with being objective, with analyzing facts. Maybe you placed your emotions in whatever thing or situation you were analyzing, and you didn't have the ability to detach yourself and to look at things from an objective point of view. Maybe this was your issue and problem. Now, if you picked option C, what is the problem? What were the problems and issues that you had in your past life? You got a major arcana card, you got death. Maybe there was too much death around you and you didn't know how to deal with people who kept dying. Maybe everyone kept dying around you, from famine, from pest, from illnesses, from diseases, from war. There's too much death and you have no idea how to deal with so many people dying around you. So the major problems and issues were famine, health problems, people invading, wars, another way of reading it, like the first one, the world, your major problem, your major challenge was to deal with the natural ending of things in our life. There's natural conclusions. Something needs to end so that a new thing could begin, and you didn't know how to deal with that. You didn't know how to deal with an end of a job, with an end of a relationship, with your kids moving out. Something that happens naturally, you didn't know how to deal with that. So that was your major issue, your major challenge, let's call it, okay? So now the next question is, how did you die? How did you die? So pick A, B, or C. A, B, or C. If you pick A, how did you die in the past life? You got the Knight of Wands. Maybe there was a fire. Maybe there was an explosion, something quick. Okay? Maybe you died in that fire or in that explosion. Maybe you died in a very violent way. Maybe you were attacked. Maybe you were a knight of some kind, or you were at a war. And in that war there were horses. I mean, it's a war where you still used horses, and you were a knight or a horseman, and you died within battle in a very violent manner. You might have been young, so up to the age of 30 more or less, and you were an impulsive guy. I'm thinking guy, could have been a woman, but honestly this is a very male card. So you might have been someone from a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, up to the age of 30. Someone who displayed the characteristics of impulsiveness, someone who's bold and a bit stupid, someone who took risks, and you took a risk and that got you killed, or you were in a war and that got you killed, or you were very bold and courageous and brave, and while you were bold and courageous, you died. Okay. The other way of reading this card, it could have been in a traffic accident. You were driving too fast. You were taking risks that you should not have taken, and you died in a car crash or a motorbike crash, accident, or something like that. Or you were someone like this caused your death. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe you're just walking and someone run you over, and someone who took risks ended up causing your death because he or she just went, either crashed in your car, or you were walking and a car came at you and you died. Or it could have been something like a train crash, a train accident of some kind, or another accident because someone took a risk. I'm thinking plane accident, or someone did something they're not supposed to do. Some act of violence also might have caused your death at other people's hands. So there's many ways of reading this card. So if you picked option B, how did you die in your last life, or in your past life? You got the Two of Cups. Maybe you died with your soulmate, or you died with another person whom you loved very much. Maybe you've drowned. Maybe you died of a heartache. Maybe the other person died and you died of heartache because you could no longer be with your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband, spouse. You couldn't be with them, so you died of a broken heart. Or you drowned, or you physically drowned because you're so sad. Oh, because you're sad, or you physically drowned. Okay, or it could be liquid in your lungs. So that's another way of dying, drowning, because there is liquid in your lungs, not because you were at the beach or a river or whatever, or at the sea. No, it's liquid in your lungs, and this is why you die. So there's many ways of reading the same card. Next option C. How did you die in the past life? You got the Hermit card, which is a major arcana card. You died of old age. You died alone. Not necessarily feeling solitary, or you were a solitary person and you might have died alone, but maybe that didn't actually bother you. Maybe you had like a house in a forest in the woods and no one even noticed that you died. But you died from old age. You died from old age and you might have died alone. Okay? So now let's move on to the next question. The next question is, did you have like a soulmate, a romantic soulmate in your past life? Did you have a romantic soulmate in your past life? Option A, you have the Eight of Cups. You might have had to left this soulmate in order to go and seek something which fulfilled your soul. Maybe you became a monk, maybe you became a nun, or maybe you were on a quest and you had to leave him or her in order to fulfill a spiritual purpose in your life. Something bigger, something higher, and you had to leave him or her. Or the other way around, you had a soulmate, but him or her had to leave you in order to, follow a more spiritual way of living, or to go on a quest which fueled his or her soul, so they had to leave you. Now, option B, did you had a soulmate, a romantic soulmate in your past life? The card that came out was the Ten of Cups. Yes, you did. And you married this person, and you're very happy with this person. You married him or her. You lived happy ever after, and you had kids, and this was a very fulfilling family life. And you just absolutely adored this person. This person loved you, and you had a very happy family. So yes, this is great. Now, if you picked option C, did you had a soulmate in the past life, a romantic soulmate? You got the Ace of Swords. You might have had one, but you were always quarreling and fighting with him or her. So, or this person might have conquered you, or you might have conquered him or her. But you were like always fighting, always quarreling. This person also might have been very intellectual, very in his or her mind, not very emotional, maybe always felt a need to win. But this person was also very honest, very straight to the point, and he or she would tell you the truth the way he or she saw it. He was very honest, or she was very honest. I'm thinking this was more like a male, more like a guy. Maybe he or she belonged to the military, to the army, to the armed forces. Maybe he had some sort of role in that, like maybe a soldier, but someone who conquered something also. But I'm thinking that maybe this relationship might have turned bad at some point, where you just fought all the time. Okay? So the next question is, in the present romantic life. Now, in your present romantic life, is there someone from a past life, from the past? Is there someone from the past? Now, if you picked A, the card that came out for you was the Three of Arrows. There might be someone now, hypothetically, from a past life, and this person just causes you pain and sorrow. And this person has betrayed you. Or it's the other way around. You caused him or her pain and sorrow, and you have betrayed him or her. But this is just a continuation of whatever you lived in a past life. It's the same thing. You keep causing hurt to each other, just like you did in a past life. So the reason might the answer is yes, and the answer is also is someone who caused you pain. And maybe you're not with this person anymore, but this person has caused you a great deal of pain. Now, if you picked option B, is there someone now in your in your present romantic life, someone from a past life? You got the Six of Coins. There might be, and this person is very generous to you. He or she is always available to you. He or she always wants to help you. He or she is always giving you gifts, Or it's you who's behaving like this towards him or her. You always are available to this person. You always want to help him or her. You always giving him or her gifts. So it could be that type of dynamics in your relationship. Maybe this person has no problem in lending you money, or this person or you have no problem in lending him or her money, but the intentions that you have is that to have a relationship with him or her if you don't have a relationship yet. Now, if you picked the option C, is there in your present romantic life anyone from a past life? The card that came out for you was the Major Arcana card, was the Illusion, which in traditional decks is called the Moon. There might have been, yes, there is, and this person lies and cheats and deceives you. This person is not to be trusted. He or she just tells you one thing and behaves in another way. This is like an enemy. This is a very unstable type of person. This is a bit mental. Also, you have to be careful with that. But I'm sorry. So, someone who lies and cheats and deceives, is just not a good person. Another way of reading this card, because of the images that appear, the images is Odette and Ivan. So it's or the images are connected with that story. The story is the story told in this Swan Lake, the Swan Lake story. And in the Swan Lake story, Odette is a princess, and she is turned into a swan by an evil witch or a sorcerer, and the only way to break the spell is through true love. And Ivan is a prince, and he falls in love with Odette, and he's going to marry her, but he's deceived. He's deceived by this evil witch, and because of that, he cannot go to Odette in time. So he can't reach her in time, and she dies. And she thinks that he never loved her, she thinks that he forget. I think it's that. So it could have been the same thing. So you want to be together, but someone, a third party, just lies and deceives and doesn't allow you to be together because he or she lies, and that lie keeps you apart, keeps you separated. But you truly want to be with each other, and you truly do love each other. And this might have been something that also happened in the past life. Okay? So the next question is, are you connected to your parents through past lives? Are you connected to your parents through past lives? If you picked Option A, are you connected to your parents through past lives? The card that you got was the Magus, or the Magician. So maybe not. Maybe you have the parents that you want, that you have now, because let's say that you manifested them, quote unquote. You manifested the parents that you wanted to have, and these are completely brand new parents. These are parents that maybe don't exactly fit your personality, because they seem so very different from you, but you have the parents that you wanted to have. Maybe a mother or your mother or father is very original, is very adaptable, is very flexible, is very funny. Flexible when I say, in talking to people, in dealing with life, in dealing with everything connected with life. Maybe he or she is a very good salesman or saleswoman. Maybe he or she is very funny. Even one of your parents might have been like a magician in a past life, and you saw him or her, and you thought, I would wish so much that this person would be my father or my mother. Maybe this is a wish that you had in a past life, and now you got your wish granted. Your father or your mother, they're different somehow, but they're funny and they're fun to be around. That's how I would read this card. Now, if you picked option B, are you connected to your parents through a past life? The card that came out was the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, I'm thinking that you, were reborn into the same family. Go back to your family albums, and go back to the line of your family that's very rich. Maybe if they're not rich now, but they used to be rich. Very rich and with a long tradition, someone, the line of your family, doesn't matter if it's the mother, your mother's line or your father's line, the line that has, that follows traditional values, that's very traditional, that's very conventional, and just, has that type of morality, traditional values, and rich history and money. Go back to that part of your family and look at the albums if you have them, because you might have been born into that family. You might discover that you were your own grandfather or grandmother, great aunt, great grandfather, great grandmother. You might recognize yourself, or you might see that the way you are, your personality, is the same type of personality of that family member who has been dead for a while. So I'm thinking you've reincarnated into the same family. That's what I'm thinking. And then if you picked the option C, are you connected to your parents through a past life? The card that you have is a major arcana card. You have the Lovers. The answer is yes. Maybe your father or your mother used to be a lover from a past life, or I'm thinking more like a spouse, a romantic partner, someone whom you loved very much, someone who loved you very much, boyfriend, girlfriend, but I'm like more like husband, wife, a romantic partner, and you loved each other so much that you decided to, you had some sort of agreement, and you decided, okay, the next life you're going to be my mother, you're going to be my father. That's what I'm thinking. And then finally, the last question is, what you need to learn in this life? What you need to learn in this life? So if you picked option A, what you need to learn in this life, you have the fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. You need to learn how to heal yourself. You need to learn to have compassion towards yourself. You need to learn how to love yourself and to receive love from others, and to speak to yourself and of yourself in a nice, kind, compassionate and loving way. Don't say things like, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, I keep losing the keys. Don't do that. Just when you give that type of self-talk to you, just turn it around immediately. I'm great, I'm fabulous, I'm just this great, fantastic, amazing person. I love myself. I'm very smart. Oh my God, I'm so smart. I look gorgeous, I'm beautiful. Just turn it around. You need to learn how to love yourself in this lifetime. And then if you picked option C, what you'll need, I'm sorry, not option C, option B, what do you need to learn in this lifetime? You got appreciation. You need to learn how to appreciate the tiny little things of life, the blessings that life has to offer you among the chaos. This woman is holding a rose, and she's like in the middle of a bush that has, I don't know how to say this. Roses have thorns, so this bush has thorns, but she's like holding a rose. So you need to appreciate that among chaos, among bad things happening, there's good things. Within everything which is bad, there's good, positive, there's beauty in life. You need to appreciate the beauty that life has to offer you. And you need to recognize it in any type of situation. So maybe you just look, when you look at a rose, you only look at the thorns and how they might prick you and how they might hurt you. And you never look at the rose, how beautiful it is and how nice it smells. You need to appreciate the beauty that is in life. You need to start appreciating that within the rose, though it has thorns, it has beauty and it has wonderful odor. So you need to see that in all aspects of your life. I'm thinking you're very negative. I'm thinking you're a very negative type of person. You immediately go to the negative. Okay? You have to turn that around in this lifetime. Now, finally, if you picked C, what you need to learn on this lifetime? You got the first chakra, Archangel Michael, my main guy. I like this guy so much. Archangel Michael is the protector, is the defender. You need to learn how to defend yourself, how to protect yourself, how to have courage. Okay, you need to learn how to have courage. And I'm not saying like how to have courage and like beat up other people. No, not that. But you need to learn how to be number one and just initiate things for yourself and because you think of them. Meaning you need to have the courage to go after what you want and to initiate things without waiting for others. Okay, you have to learn how to have the courage to live your own life. You have to learn self-determination also, and not waiting for anyone. Just go and do the things you want to do. Wait for no one. Just go and do them. Okay, and that's it. This is the reading for all signs about your past life. If you'd like something similar, actually I have this reading, but it's with 15 questions. This time it's only 10. And I use two decks. I could use more than. So it's a 30 card reading also, but it's just for you. If you like something just for you, please email me at dunyazade@gmail.com and I'd be delighted to work with you.